Hello, Gemini. Thanks for being here. This is the Rockstar Coach. If you are new to my channel, I am an intuitive life coach, also a certified energy healer, aura reader, Akashic Records practitioner, and I do offer personal readings. So if you are interested in that, there is a link in my bio. This is a general reading for Gemini for the area of career and finances. And before I get into that, I want to give you a couple of announcements. I have been away for a bit. I manifested a free vacation to the beach. And so if you are interested in manifestation, I have a free video on my channel that is all about my manifesting crystal grids. So check that out if that interests you. And as well, I wanted to highlight something that I offer for female entrepreneurs. It's called the Wisdom Circle. It is a monthly program, kind of like a mastermind with coaching and guidance. Also, it is a month-to-month program, so you can stay in for as long as you want or just stay for 1 month. If you would like information on that, comment wisdom or wisdom circle below, and I will make sure to respond to you with the link for that program. Otherwise, you can check out my website at rockstarcoach.org. All right, let's get into it. Gemini, what does Spirit have for you? Career and finances. Let me tell you, I am using the Soul's Journey lesson cards today, the Energy Oracle cards, and of course, I end all of my readings with the Power of Surrender cards, and I have a money candle lit for you today, Gemini. So let's see what career and finances have for you mid-September to mid-October. Can you believe it is October coming up so soon? I see the leaves falling. Days are getting shorter. Air is getting cooler. Lots of changes here I'm feeling, Gemini. Cards aren't wanting to come out, but messages are coming through. Yeah, changes are coming in your career and finances because of that. Some of you are looking for something new. Some of you are wanting to get out of where you are currently. We got guilt. And this says, I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. This looks like, and this feels like, so the energy that I was getting prior to this card coming out and then this coming through, it says to me, some of you are in a space in your career, in your job, in your workplace that is not aligned for you. You've had this kind of niggling of needing to get out of there. Like it just doesn't feel right. Some of you, it's toxic. For some of you, it's like, it's an energy of almost like unethical energy. So some of you are in a position that things are being asked of you, and maybe the information of what's actually going on is not out there in the public eye. Maybe it's trying to be hidden, but you know what's going on. Either you've found some documents that lead you to, understand what's really happening, or you just have that inkling, that gut feeling. Your intuition is telling you what is really going on, and you're understanding that you really need to make a change. There is some fear there as well, though, Gemini, because it's like, okay, if I just up and leave, then what? Like, what am I going to do? I need money to pay the bills, to feed my family, to put gas in my car, right? So this guilt card is really saying, release the guilt of what would I do if, like, what's going to happen next? Kind of, because you're kind of preemptively feeling the guilt of leaving. First of all, you've got comrades in the office and you don't want to let them down. But at the same time, you just literally can't be a part of that anymore. Like, your soul will not let you be a part of that any longer. And so it's this kind of this catch-22. It's this juxtaposition of, well, I don't necessarily want to leave my people. I don't want to leave without having a backup plan, right? But at the same time, I'm actually feeling guilty now that I know what's really going on. Now that the veil has been lifted, I feel guilty staying. And so there's kind of guilt in a couple of different areas there, but this is just saying you are releasing now. And this is your permission, Gemini. I would love to see in the comments, I release. I release the guilt. I release, I release, I release. Say that over and over. If and when you are feeling that guilt, release that guilt. There is nothing to feel guilty about. And in fact, when you make that change, for those of you that this resonates for, when you make that change, other things will start falling in line, right? It's always scary to jump off the cliff if you can't see what's on the other side. But spirit, higher self, the universe knows what's on the other side, and they are always there to protect you. You will not fall and cause yourself harm. All right. Wow. Death. Right after I said jump off a cliff, right? But this is talking about, this says, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. So this is just a confirmation of what was just said. When you make that change, make that ending, that is opening the door to the new beginning for you. And then all else is beauty after that, right? And look, these cards even have the same like color scheme going on. I'm feeling one more to kind of round out this message for you. For those of you that part of the message does not resonate, there's something else in here around making some personnel changes. So this may mean that you are, like a CEO. You may be a president, manager, general manager. You may be the owner of the business or the company. And there's some personnel changes that are needing to be made, and they're needing to be made. And the guilt comes in for you with, having to let people go. It's a difficult time in our world economy anyway. And so because you have a big heart, Gemini, it does weigh on you. It does weigh on your heart that you need to make some changes. And by doing so, some people will, they'll be let go. And that weighs heavily on you. But again, the endings are merely beginnings. And so often, what I know to be true from my experience in my work and just life in general, when someone loses their job, when something like this happens for someone, the receiver, so often later down the line, they will see, and it may be years later, but they understand and realize and come to know that this point in time when they lost this particular position or job, or this change had to be made, it was the best thing that could have happened for them. So if you can shift your mindset a bit, and of course not be, flippant about what needs to happen and the process that needs to, that, that it needs to take in order to make these changes, and the emotions that will be involved, of course. Not taking that lightly, but understanding that on the other side is a new beginning for that person as well. And intend for that person to see that, feel that, know that, understand that, and that be true for them. That will not only help you through the process, but it will really help you understand to know that you are doing the best thing, not just for you and the company, but for that person as well. Beautiful. Surrender. I can release my need to control. So there you go, Gemini. This is not an easy thing for you to do with making these changes, whether it's you that is making the change in your own job and your own career, having to leave, or whether this is you that's having to make these personnel changes that you're the one making the call on them. Surrender to the process. And I just saw when I said surrender, the counter on the clock for the video was 11:11. Surrender, Gemini. Surrender the control, knowing and understanding that the universe, God, Spirit, Source has your back. You will not be left behind. Okay, beautiful. Let's move on to the energy oracle cards. Spirit, messages for Gemini on career and finances. Yes, seasons of change. Very interesting that came up while I was shuffling the first deck, and this is what came out, right? Like, that is a season of change. Okay. Hostilities. Again, this is twofold. For some, where this resonates, this is you have some hostilities here. You are having to leave. You're having to make the change. Maybe you're being let go. Maybe you are the one that discovered what is really going on, and it's not aligned with your principles and values. It's something you need to walk away from, but you've got some hostility there because you trusted these people. You believed in them. You believed that you were in it for the long haul and that they were committed to you as much as you were committed to them, and that they were above board, doing the right thing, really being ethical. And in the case of being let go, it's hard. It is. Sometimes there's questions of, I don't understand why. What did I do wrong? What am I not doing well? How can my performance be better? But those are the attitudes. The attitude of, how can I improve, is really what's on the other side of this. And if you can release and surrender, right? If you can release that control and release those hostilities and open yourself up to, okay, where do I go from here? How do I learn from this? How do I better myself? How do I use my discernment in the future? How can I choose more wisely the people that I surround myself with, whether those be employers or employees, right? Partners even. So yeah, it's no wonder that there are some hostilities here, because this is a tough time no matter what side you're on. So Gemini, give yourself a little grace. Be patient, which is not easy for you, I understand. Work through these hostilities. Don't bury them. Allow them to come to the surface. Deal with them now. See, he's even holding this sword. And I'm just kind of feeling along with this is it's just cut those down, cut those hostilities down, let them go, release them. Didn't we say, I release, I release, I release? I release guilt, I release hostilities. Release, I release, I release. And then you can move forward with a new foundation that is built up of not only your experiences and your learnings from the past up until now, but it can pave a way for new opportunities and new lessons, quite frankly, for improvement. Because that's what life is about, right? It's a constant lesson for improvement. And it doesn't mean that you're not fantastic and wonderful now, Gemini. It means that we're always on the path of bettering ourselves. And that is in all areas of our life, right? And I do feel, certainly there's this overlay. I feel it's almost a cloud because of the finance part of this, right? There's some scary stuff when you are making changes in your career or in your business. Money is involved, right? Whether you're having to give money in the way of severance or unemployment, perhaps, or whether you are the one on the other side, not knowing where the next paycheck is going to come in. And so I'm feeling that, and this is somewhat unpopular, but I'm feeling that you're adding to the fear, or you're adding to the lack. Interesting, isn't it? Adding to the lack by having so much fear. So, though it's natural to be fearful in this time, Gemini, the best thing you can do is to trust, right? Is to surrender. And that's also the hardest. But you got caring connections here. So there is someone, or more than one someone's. This could be a friend group. This could be family. This could be a peer group, whether this is at your job or in your career sector. And I feel like they're stepping in to help you at this time. I'm not feeling necessarily that they are the ones coming to rescue you and offer you a new opportunity necessarily, but I feel like this is your tribe where they're coming in with support. They're coming in with that mental and emotional and perhaps even physical, right? Material help at this time. So on the other side of that fear, you can rely on these supporters, these connections, these tribe members that are coming in towards you that are here to help you. So there is hope there that there is some guidance that they can provide also. And I'm also feeling for some of you, there will be some information given to you, like, oh, call my friend so-and-so, or call this person, or I just happened to meet this person at a meeting yesterday and they handle this or that, or, some sort of divine intervention or synchronicity that someone in your tribe will be able to be helpful with. Okay? And this is not coming in the too far distant future. This is coming pretty soon, pretty quickly. So work through those feelings and that fear, because you have help coming in. Let's see what's on the other side of this. Spirit, what's on the other side of this time. Wow. Okay. Aha. Okay. Yeah. Great. So I know these popped out first, and typically I would take these first, but they said, no, we're even going to show you this card because we want you to talk about this first. Community. This goes right along with that caring connections, right? Your community is there for you. Look to them. Don't shut them out at this time. Sometimes, Gemini, it can be difficult when you are going through a challenging time, when you're going through difficulties. It can be easier to retreat, to kind of stay in your own bubble, kind of stay in your own world. Maybe even maybe even feel sorry for yourself a little bit, Gemini. That energy is coming in here. This is not the time to do that. This is the time to reach out and be open to help, to guidance, to your community, because they are here to help you. They are here to provide support in various ways. For some of you, they're going to be bringing meals to you. They're going to be, maybe a grocery store gift card. For some of you, maybe it's a gas card for your car. For others of you, it's resources on new opportunities, new jobs. For others, it is physical help, especially where, excuse me, the ones that are having to make some changes in their own business or their own company. There's physical help from others coming in to pick up the slack during this time where you're having to kind of restructure a bit. Excuse me. Just take a sip of water here. Thank you. So some of these people are coming from inside the organization and the company, and others are coming from outside. Okay, so don't just focus your attention on one group or one place. They're coming from different areas. Okay, so just be open to that. And this, okay, beautiful. Happy family and door to value. I want to give you both of these at the same time because I feel like this has been a really heavy reading, right, Gemini? But here's the happy ending. You've got happy family, which tells me everything's going to be okay. Your family is safe. You are safe. You have food on the table. You have a roof over your head. There is a light, right, at the end of this rainbow. And look, rainbows oftentimes symbolize hope and happiness. And that is absolutely what's coming in for you. It is here, but these changes are here to not only, they're here for your benefit. So they're here to strengthen you. They're here to direct your path in a different way. It's all for your good, Gemini. And look at this, door to value. Can you see all that money? Look at all that money flowing in. And look, I'm seeing this light here. It just kind of feels like a very similar light, right? That's what this is. That's the light at the end of the rainbow. This money is coming in for you. This is success. This is what you've been looking for, right? What wasn't available to you to that degree where you were or where you are now. So these changes are actually for your benefit to prosper even more. This card, I am just, all of a sudden, I just got prosper. Really, really big. Prosper. Yeah. You're coming into some really, really big money, Gemini. I never get those energies for a collective reading, because that's, you know, prosperous is going to mean something different to everyone. And yes, I want everyone to have all the money. And this really is saying that's what's happening. You are, Gemini, you are going to prosper from this. And there's a lot of benefit. There's a lot of financial benefit that comes along with this. There's a lot of emotional benefit and relational benefit, stability here. And I'm just noticing that this card is 31 and this card is 4. 3 and 1 reduces to 4. So it's financial stability, home life stability. It's beautiful. Beautiful. I'm so happy about the way this is turning out for you, Gemini. All right, we're going to go with the power of surrender. Spirit, what does Gemini need to surrender or surrender to during this time around career and finances? Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. Okay, they're saying this is the only card you need. Let me read the energy on this. If I can get this one off the table. There we go. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. I'm going to read this card to you. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. Okay. For those of you that are on the receiving end of this change, you may be thinking, because of this, you may be thinking negative thoughts about yourself, right? Any number of them. And I won't even put that out there because you can do a good enough job yourself, Gemini, thinking those things. But what this is saying is it's time to let that go, because that's in the past. Those were lessons for you to bring forward to now. And now you get to move on from here with that experience, with that knowledge, with that wisdom. You will not make the same mistake again, Gemini. And for those of you that are in charge of making these changes, you are not the same person you were. You will handle this differently. You will handle it better. And moving forward, you won't make the same swift decisions. Because it feels like, for those of you that you're the one making the changes that are affecting other people, this feels like you may have hired too quickly. You were expanding, you were growing, you were not only hopeful, but you really thought that things were going in this expanded direction, and you might have jumped the gun because not everything was in place yet. And so while, yes, you will likely have some guilt that you'll need to release around that because you feel like part of that, or even all of that, was your fault. Again, it was all part of the plan, and you won't make those same mistakes next time. You will wait to make sure that everything is stable, that the company is on solid ground before you make that next hire. You'll almost go the other way and cause or be on the verge of causing burnout for yourself and or others before you will hire someone and take that risk again, because now you see that as a risk. Now you see that as the wrong decision. Whereas before it was excitement. It was, yeah, we're going to build this thing to XYZ and I'm going to need 5 people to help me, right? And so I'm going to hire 5 people by the end of this week. And you did. And then a few months later, things started to turn, and they didn't exactly turn out the way you thought they would or as quickly as you had hoped they would, and the money was not coming in, and it was getting more difficult and more difficult to make those payroll payments and the lease payments on the space, the products, etc., right? Paying all the bills became more difficult. So you will be much more cautious next time around. So allow yourself to learn the lessons and then let that guilt go. Let any of the negative emotions or negative beliefs that you have about yourself, let them fade away, because you are now, from this moment on and this moment on, a new and different person. So Gemini, I hope that this spoke to you. Thank you for all of those who have shared and subscribed and liked my videos. It helps so much. I have a goal to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm so very close, and I appreciate all your support, Gemini. Great reading for you. Turns out to be amazing. So I can't wait to hear how this resonates for you, and let me know when that money starts rolling in. I'm going to be talking with all my Gemini friends and looking forward to that with you. All right, until next time, Gemini, take care.